I wanted a croc on a leash by a
Got
pool.
you.
And they turned up with this little fish tank thing, and I was like, what's in that? And they're like, the croc. I was like, it's a lizard. I've seen bigger blue tongues.
Hey, what's good? My name's Jazz and I'm the curator of some of the hip hop and R&B playlists at Spotify. And today with me, I've got some amazing creative guests. It's Jake and TK. They're killing it right now in the streetwear scene and just across the board. They're honestly like taking things to new heights. They've just opened up a store in LA and London. It's so good to have you here. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Can't complain about that intro.
Put a bit of pep in my step, didn't it?
Thank you, Jazz.
Bit extra wind in the sails.
No, it's so true. You guys have been smashing it for almost, 13 years now?
13 years this year.
So maybe for the people that aren't fully across like the origin story, how did Geedup come about?
I grew up writing graffiti. Always had a love for graphics like that sort of thing and t-shirt graphics and stuff like that. It was actually me and my little brother that had launched it in 2010. It was never meant to be a brand. We were selling dead stock basketball jerseys and snapbacks. Lo and behold, we were selling fakes that we didn't know about. So we got hit with a cease and desist. But we already had a little community that were buying from us and stuff like that. And so I just had a crack at designing a jumper, and I think it was the Easy E one that I designed.
Yeah, and talk to me about how you've integrated all of these amazing artists into your brand, like from the very beginning. How did that come about? Was that something?
Australian artists?
Yeah, Australian artists and then eventually international artists like Heady One and people we've been working with.
They've all been our friends. We've come across them in a social space and we've kind of connected with them and we've fostered relationships where it's just like we want to do things together to better each other, essentially.
Well, I think fashion in the hip hop space can't exist without the music, because without them, we exist in their space. Yeah. They don't exist in our space.
Love that. That's so true. Like when you're getting in that creative zone, like when you're conceptualizing and coming up with the designs, are you listening to music? What's that process like?
I mean, I won't listen to music while I'm designing, but for example, I was sitting in the sauna in the UK. We've got a collab coming through with Heady One, RB, and Abracadabra.
Huge.
And I was listening to the Heady, and some of his lyrics inspired a design. But I won't go and listen to music while I'm designing. No.
Yeah.
But
I get that so much, that lyrics can inspire an idea in a design. What were they?
The bar was something along the lines of lying with his hand on the Bible, obviously in the court of law. Mm-hmm. So the idea was to illustrate a hand holding the Bible with its fingers crossed, for a back graphic of a hoodie or a jacket.
So that's the T. That's the next.
I'm not
drop.
sure yet. That was just an idea I had. So getting back to it does inspire.
Well, I'm super keen to dive into the music now and look at your picks. So yeah, when we were thinking about who would be great to have a chat with, it was you two were some of the first people that popped up in my mind, because it's obviously like that, I guess, crossover between fashion and hip hop is just huge. It's so important. They go hand in hand. And obviously you both have grown up on the music too. So yeah, that really shines through in your picks. Let me get out a laptop and we can go through it and figure out what 5 we're gonna add to the playlist.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Only 5.
That's what I was saying, it was hard.
So we're coming together today to collaborate on 5 songs that we're going to be adding to the A1 list. There's going to be a combination of more emerging artists, local artists, artists from overseas. And basically, I just want you to choose some tracks that kind of resonate with you, that remind you of a moment that was like really important in your life, or a song that you've just like been bumping a lot of the time. Maybe it is like, it was like a soundtrack to one of your trips, that kind of thing. I want the stories. Okay, so here's a list of a lot of the songs that you're vibing. There's My Brother by Blue Boy. What is it about that song that you love?
It's almost a letter to any one of your friends, isn't it? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, it says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
You feel the emotion in it too.
Yeah.
There's an artist named Vita Sunshine on here. She has a song called All Three Eyes. She's Australian. How did you find that song, TK? What are your thoughts?
I have these moments where I'm just roaming through Spotify and I just randomly came across that. When I listened to it, I loved it.
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved it. I don't know if I've even played it to Jake, but I go on these little tangents and just to find things, and that was just a discovery.
Shout out Spotify, the algorithm, let's go. We've also got HP Boys. They made the list a couple times. What are your thoughts on them? Obviously hailing from Melbourne, they've been killing it for years.
Well, 2021, 2022, their work rate was like unprecedented.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of really caught my eye. But again, it's listening music, you know.
Yeah.
It's head bopping.
It's enjoyable.
You know,
Their voices hit hard
Yeah.
too.
100%.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like the current state of hip hop then in Australia? It's a big question.
I'm glad people are back.
Yeah.
But man, there was a while there where I was getting worried. I was like, fuck, when are the boys going to drop some music? It's been too long, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really good now to see that Hefty's got a project on, Billy's dropped her music.
Yeah, Billy Marie's doing some great
you know,
things.
Everyone seems like they're doing something now. And it's really good to see.
I think we're all starving for more. You love listening to local, so
Yeah.
the frequency that we want, you know, we're pushing for it from them.
It's great music. And you just said Billy Marie,
Billy Marie's great, yeah.
one of the best R&B artists to come out of the country. Thoughts on her music? I think you added Nasty into the list.
Hey, Bonnie was Bonnie
Bonnie.
there too there? Yeah.
And she had the Hefs collab a couple of years ago too.
Yeah, that was huge.
Shiesty.
Yeah, that was a good track.
I think Billy's elevating herself and, you know, seeing a few things that she's been talking about is, you know, that genre in her space and even female artists in general in that scope, you know, it is tough. It can be tough. So, you know, her doing what she wants and trying to elevate and do more of it, I think is great.
There's a lot more artists to the catalogue now, you know? And it's happened in the last 9 to 12 months where they've just kind of carved out their own piece of the pie. Babyface Mel, I've been watching and listening to as well. Their work rate is consistent, you know what I mean? And I think that's the one thing that the industry
want
has
more
again
of.
now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes. And I guess there's kind of like a crossover there too. Like you probably both are able to relate to consistency and the need for that because of what
The
you're
way we run
doing.
this,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, well, we should narrow it down to 5 picks, I think. That's,
We're going to make some enemies who we cut here, so we've got to be careful.
It's a collaboration.
Those are great
I mean,
choices.
What we need to think about is who listens to the playlist. I think it would be great to get some more emerging artists out there, some more eyes on them. Just showcasing more of the amazing people that are putting out music in this country from different areas of the country too. And then I love the stories for context too, like that you guys have given us, because it just
got
adds
plenty
that
more of
extra
it.
layer. I mean, I'm gonna assume that Heady One might be on this list.
Look, our guys, we have to show love to RV, Hetty, and Abra.
And that relationship that we worked on with RV over the years, it was reciprocated by him. So less the song than it is the artists. RV just showed love from the jump. You know, he was always in the brand. Whenever anything we ever sent out, he reached out. He kept lines of communication open and things like that. So when it came time to go to the UK, as soon as we landed, he'd already kind of done some groundwork. And he's like, I've got Hetty coming through, I've got Abra coming through. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
all right, cool. So yeah, any one of their tracks will be on that list just because of the love that they've shown and the work they're putting in, you know.
So let's lock that one in.
Okay.
Hometown by Band OK, Abracadabra, RV, and Heady One. There is All Three Eyes by Australia's Vida Sunshine, Australian Ghanaian artist, killing it.
Yeah.
Fame by Hooligan Hefs, Massey Rourke, Hooks, and Hooligan Skinny. Bella by J1, and Straight Out the Mud by Ballyboy. Why Straight Out the Mud by Ballyboy?
Listen to the song and you'll understand, like straight out of the mud, straight out of the slums. That song just reminds me of where we started, where I started, where and what I come from. I remember the first time it was used in a reel. I was driving my McLaren through the city, and Joey chopped up a reel that had Ballyboys Straight Out of the Mud over the top. And I was just kind of watching it, and it was a proud moment for me. I was like, look at that, you know what I mean? Look at that driving a McLaren. You know what I mean?
Better than the bus.
And it just stuck. It just stayed with me, and it always has, you know. I wouldn't even say the unofficial. It is the
It's
official
the
tune
official track of
of our delivery day. It's just,
You do sing it. Do you want to give us a taste?
nah. Put it on real loud, and then I'll get
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That feels like a good 5 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Hope we didn't leave anyone out. We're going to get some phone calls after this.
Maybe you can make a playlist.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
We will.
You killed that. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.